Peace, love, and divine light to my beautiful family. This is ordained metaphysical minister, Dr. Corbin, reporting live. I welcome you all to Cosmic Christ University. This is chapter 2 of The Path of the Dragon. Chapter 2, The Womb of the Universe. Now, this evening, we're going to have a field trip. For those who got a chance to watch my previous videos, you know that I am the son of Mrs. Frizzle. And what I love to do is to take my family, to take you on these magical time traveling field trips so you can learn a little more about yourselves. So this evening, this is what we're going to do, family. I want you to get ready for one of the greatest field trips that you're ever going to take in your life. You're in good hands with the minister. Now, just to do a quick recap, on chapter 1, Path of the Dragon, it was a lot of Kabbalah talk, or Kabbalistic talk. We talked about the comparisons with the show Stranger Things to the Dolph and D-A-A-T. That's D-A-A-T. We talked about the Caliph-Dolph, the opposite side of the Tree of Life, dealing with the underworld. That was what we were talking about on chapter 1. Now, chapter 2, The Womb of the Universe, we're about to take a magical trip. Now, before we start, ladies, gentlemen, men, women, I want this question to be asked upon you before we get started with this field trip. Before we get ready to start this field trip, everybody, men and women, I want this question to be asked upon you, and this is the question. Where do you think our patriarchal society, where do you think the male dominance, where did you think that originated from? And to propose another question, what was really originated before that? If you were one of these people that say, man, this is a patriarchal world, a hyper masculine driven society, you may be asking the question, well, what was before this patriarchal society, before men just dominated and everything just became unbalanced and a disarray? Some may say. Well, hopefully you have an answer to that question by the time we are done with this field trip. We're going to jump right in chapter 2, which is called The Womb, W-O-M-B, The Womb of the Universe. Now, unless you're driving, and if you're driving, stay focused on that road, and I thank you for being intuitive with the word of the minister. But if you have a pen and a pad, you might want some popcorn as well, something to drink. But if you have a pen and pad, please, I want you to take notes, because you can listen to me all you want to. But it's a lot more amazing when you can research what the minister is saying and find out for your own self and have your own truth and gather your own information. So, family, let's get ready for this field trip, and I want to thank you all for rocking with the minister on Cosmic Christ University, the home of the esoteric and metaphysical knowledge. Once again, it's about to get real. Now, I always start my field trips with, for shizzle my nizzle, I am the son of Mrs. Frizzle. And it is time to time travel back into the ancient times before the patriarchal, hyper-masculine, male-driven society took place. Are you ready, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. For shizzle my nizzle, I am the son of Mrs. Frizzle. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are all aboard. Please listen up. Let's stay focused. The serpent, Ouroboros. Now, if you watch chapter 1, we talked about Ouroboros. Ouroboros is spelled O-U-R-O-B-O-R-O-S. Once again, the serpent named Ouroboros, that is spelled O-U-R-O-B-O-R-O-S. Now, if you have connection right now to the internet, if you can get to the internet, have a laptop or phone, you can Google that and you will see the symbol, the worldwide symbol known as the serpent eating his own tail. If you will Google Ouroboros, you will see the image of the serpent eating its own tail. So let's keep on going. And I thank you for your patience. The serpent Ouroboros represents the principle that all is one and one is all. The end is the beginning and the beginning is the end. When one cycle ends, another begins. Draconian current is continuous movement and strife, internal play of cosmic patterns and particles. They battle and devour one another. They copulate and produce new offspring. This is the stream of force and movement balanced through strife, equilibrium of opposites. Draconian magic is as much about fury, death, and destruction as it is about love, eroticism, and creation. It is ever moving energy, raw and pure force of primal cosmic consciousness. The vital principle behind the eternal cosmic cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Now, I want to stop right here before I go further for my Star Wars fans and for my Star Wars lovers who really understood the power of Luke, Vader, Obi-Wan, and we could just keep naming countless other greats within the Star Wars trilogy. Shout out to Yoda. The true meaning was that there is always an inner force within you, an inner force that you may not be able to recognize through your everyday daily life. But once through meditation, once through going through certain initiations that we call pain, struggle, and sacrifice, these inner powers are formulated and they rise within you, and you are able to activate your powers. As I continue on with Chapter 2, The Womb of the Universe, you are about to hear the origins of what was before the patriarchal society was. And maybe we are starting to understand about what these gods were and what these so-called gods became. And maybe what we should prepare for in the coming months and years as far as a cosmic return. And I thank you for your patience. Family, men and women, please listen up closely. Ladies and gentlemen, and especially my ladies of the world, please listen up to what I have to say next. The chaos goddess Tiamat is the dragon of primordial abyss. She is the mother to all gods and the essence from which the world was formed when she was slain by Marduk in the battle of New Cosmic Order. Now, family, at 8 minutes, when we first started, I asked a question. My question was, what do you think was before the patriarchal society? Some of you say that this is a hyper-masculine driven world. Well, why is this? What happened? Why is this so patriarchal? And why has the matriarchal energy been dimmed and dumbed down and almost forgotten about? Ladies and gentlemen who are watching the Cosmic Christ University, my aim here is for you to at least get a full understanding of what was, what happened, and what we are returning back to, all in one video. And I thank each and every one of you for your patience as I do such. So let's read this again. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do some extensive research on the primordial or the primal mother Tiamat. Now, let's read this again. The chaos goddess Tiamat is the dragon of primordial abyss. She is the mother to all gods and the essence from which the world was formed when she was slain by Marduk in the battle for new cosmic order. Her flesh and bones constitute the structures of the world. The blood of her demonic offsprings flows in the veins of all living creatures. And her consciousness dwells at the root of human mind as the inner dragon, the spark of the divine potential. I thank each and every one of you for watching, first and foremost. But there's a lot of you who are like, man, this world seems so repetitive. Like I'm in a cycle. How can I break this cycle? You are hearing something that can break your cycle. You think your salvation is just angel wings and light when it's actually chaos to get to the divinity. Your origins is chaos. And in order to escape this illusion that they have put the masses upon, you're going to have to go back to a primordial essence and consciousness to overcome this illusion. So I'm going to read this again, and I thank you so much. I told you you're going to need pen and pad and popcorn and something to drink. Because this is your truth if you accept it as your truth. This chaos that you feel within you, there's an origin. Ladies, listen up when we talk about sibyls, oracles, witches. I said, ladies who are watching, I thank you so much. But I want you to listen up when we talk about oracles, sibyls, witches, prophetess, goddesses. I need you to listen closely because your origins, I hope it makes sense when they say that we are equal, men and women, and not knowing that the woman powers are so cosmic, so beyond this time, space, and matter that is. Let's read this again. Chapter 2, the womb of the universe. The chaos goddess Tiamat, that is spelled Tiamat family, is the dragon of primordial abyss. She is the mother to all gods and the essence from which the world was formed when she was slain by Marduk in the battle for the new cosmic order. Think about that. We're talking about old times. There was a war for a shift. We can obviously say that the shift happened when everything that was worshipped and known by the goddess energy shifted and a male dominance energy happened with the gods. Well, let's read this again together. The chaos goddess Tiamat is the dragon of primordial abyss. She is the mother to all gods and the essence from which the world was formed when she was slain by Marduk. Keep that name in mind. Marduk. Let's keep going. She was slain by Marduk in the battle for new cosmic order. Her flesh and bones constitute the structure of the world. The blood of her demonic offspring flows in the veins of all living creatures. Now listen to this. And her consciousness dwells at the root of human mind as the inner dragon, the spark of divine potential. The primordial chaos is the womb of the dragon goddess. Let me say this again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ladies, for intuitively listening. The primordial chaos is the womb of the dragon goddess. She is the one who gives birth to all things and devours them in the eternal cosmic cycle. She is the whore who seduces the wanderer on the path among the stars and inflames the divine spark that burns and pulsates in our blood. Now, you might say on 14 minutes, whore, look in Revelations in your Bible. I said theologians and church people and everybody, look at Revelations in your Bible when it refers to the whore. This is what it's talking about exoterically, but esoterically, this is what it means. It's giving you symbology, symbolism that the average person cannot and would not and refuse not to comprehend that as an inner meaning. This is what Paul was talking about when he means the hidden mysteries. Let's keep on going. I thank you for your patience, seriously. Her flesh, we're talking about Tiamat, the primal goddess dragon. Her flesh and bones constitute the structures of the world. The blood of her demonic offspring flows in the veins of all living creatures, and her consciousness dwells at the root of human mind as the inner dragon, the spark of divine potential. Now listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. I said, listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. The primordial chaos is the womb of the dragon goddess. She is the one who gives birth to all things and devours them in the eternal cosmic cycle. She is the whore who seduces the wanderer on the path among the stars and inflames the divine spark that burns and pulsates in our blood. AKA, if you a person, man or woman, that is on a path to enlightenment, to knowing yourself, some of you call that a black sheep. If you are now stepping outside the normal and reaching an inner world that can help change your outer world, this is who greets you. The Divine Mother, known by so many names. Sophia over here, Lilith over here, Mary over here, Tiamat, the original. This is known everywhere. This is not just secluded in one section. All mythology had a goddess. All mythology was known about the Marduk and Tiamat story. So let's keep on going. I thank y'all once again for your patience. Once again, the primordial chaos is the womb of the dragon goddess. She is the one who gives birth to all things and devours them in the eternal cosmic cycle. She is the whore who seduces the wanderer on the path among the stars and inflames the divine spark that burns and pulsates in our blood. She is the mother to those who dare to rise on her flaming wings and tear the world apart with her fiery breath. When we talk about Christ, Yeshua, when we talk about the Holy Spirit that was in Yeshua, this is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, men and women, this is what we're talking about. This is what dwelt in Christ, the Divine Mother, the primordial goddess energy, the divine feminine energy that was within Christ Yeshua, was in Buddha, Krishna, so forth, Enoch, Thoth. Let's keep on going. The womb of the primordial dragon goddess is the source, the abyss, the void, the beginning of the whole universe. Her force is the spark of life within and without. She rises in the initiate as the Kundalini serpent, lifting the soul to the gate of chaos where consciousness is shattered, decomposed, and stripped from mundane conditioning. And now I'm definitely going to read this again. Let me take my glasses off. Okay, we're good. I'm going to read this again. Because a lot of people, once again, maybe it's you said, man, I'm this everyday life that you're going through. It feels like it's on repeat. Why? Because there's a cycle you must break. This is the Truman Show. And until you realize this is the Truman Show and you escape the matrix and you really understand the genetrix of everything, until you do that, you're just stuck in this loop, this repeated cycle. Let's read this again. And going on 20 minutes, I thank you for your patience. This is chapter 2, the womb of the universe. They call this the matrix. The first two letters are Ma. Shout out to Sophia Stewart, who was the original sister, who was the sister who created the movie The Matrix. And I do believe at least had part or created the Terminator as well. She lets you know what the Matrix is. And if you Google the Genetrix, you can even see what has surpassed the Matrix. Well, let's continue to go on, and I thank you so much for your patience once again. The womb of the primal, Brima, the womb of the primal dragon goddess is the source, the abyss, the void, the beginning of the whole universe, family. Her force is the spark of life within and without. She rises in the initiate as the Kundalini serpent, lifting the soul to the gate of chaos, where consciousness is shattered, decomposed, and stripped from mundane conditioning. I got intelligent people who watch this who are smart with or without going to college. I want you to understand what I just said, and I hope you understand and understand what it just has been said. You live in your everyday life and you're looking for change, but this everyday life cannot change because it is an illusion that is on repeat. And until you accept that and know that and choose to counteract that and go beyond that, you are forever stuck in the loop. Now, if you don't believe me, you don't have to believe me, but listen to what is being said and you make your own choice and you make your own observation and conclusion. But I'm going to read it again and hope the ones with ears can listen to what is being said. Once again, the womb, WOMB, of the primal dragon goddess is the source, family, the abyss, the void, the beginning of the whole universe. Her force is the spark of life within and without. She rises in the initiate. That means you who are knowing that you are more divine. But anyway, let's keep going. She rises in the initiate as the Kundalini serpent, lifting the soul to the gate of chaos, where consciousness, family, listen, for those who know just a little bit or a lot of bit about consciousness, this is what happens to the conscious. This is what happened to the consciousness. Lifting the soul to the gate of chaos, where consciousness is shattered. My God, my gosh. Consciousness is shattered, decomposed, family. We know what shattered and decomposed is. If not, Google's your best friend. And stripped from mundane conditioning. Mundane is another word for everyday, normal, or just the basics. Mundane. Your everyday life, everyday thinking, everyday way of moving is shattered. Your consciousness is destroyed. What you thought you knew, you never knew and never know again. Not in the same way. Let's sit back and think about that just for a second as I continue on. And the last one was about what, 47 minutes, right? 47? But I want you to sit back and think about what was just being said. And a lot of you are already on that path as well. A lot of you are like, man, I feel like my ending my life, or I feel like, no. Ending your life for what? You are Superman. You are Superwoman, ladies. The pain or struggle is an initiation. Once you survive this, once you know that you can overcome this is where the true reward begins. And this is when God's love can truly be comprehended and understand it to its utmost. Family, listen to me. What they told you was dark is leading you to the light. And what they told you was a light was just a blind illusion. And yes, I'm going to read this again, family. For the ones who thought their life was dark, you don't know dark until you understand this. For those who were looking for a reason to keep on living, this is a reason for you to keep on living, because there is an inner power within you. I said there's an inner power within you. And once you don't give up and you now activate that inner power, you have the power once you leave. And once you leave, Leave, once you leave the illusion and you lead your inner self to God. The womb of the primal dragon goddess is the source, the abyss, the void, the beginning of the whole universe. Her force is the spark of life within and without. She rises in the initiate as the Kundalini serpent, lifting the soul to the gate of chaos, where consciousness is shattered, decomposed, and stripped from mundane conditioning. but she also manifests in nature's phenomenon on the earth. There are many theories and speculations about the patterns of dragon energy constituting the Earth's magnetic field. I said there are many theories and speculations about the patterns of dragon energy constituting the Earth's magnetic field. They are called, and I quote, dragon lines, quote, end quote, or ley lines, huh? We know them as ley lines, but they also go as dragon lines. Let's speak on it. And are often believed to be mystical veins connecting the power spots on the Earth's ancient vortexes of cosmic energy. And I quote, the chakras of the Earth, end quote. The Chinese art of Feng Shui, Fengshui, is based on this mystical magnetic correlation between energy patterns in man and in the universe. In Chinese lore, dragons have always been of great importance, both as the emblem of the emperors and as the symbol of untamed, life giving, and destructive powers of nature. Now, family, if you are still with me on 26 minutes, I feel like I should just read just a little bit of that again. Because shout out to my Chinese, shout out to my Asian family altogether for just preserving the ancient tradition. Shout out to my Asian family all over the world for preserving the ancient traditions and the ancient ways of life and living. Thank you. This must be repeated again, and I am going to repeat it again. There are many theories and speculations about the patterns of dragon energy constituting the Earth's magnetic field, family. They are called dragon lines, quote, end quote, also ley lines, quote, end quote, and are often believed to be mystical veins, Veins, connecting the power spots on the Earth, ancient vortexes of cosmic energy. And I quote, the chakras of the Earth, end quote. The Chinese art of Feng Shui is based on the mystical magnetic correlations between energy patterns in man and in the universe. In Chinese lore, dragons have always been of great importance, both as the emblem of the emperors and as the symbol of untamed, life giving, and destructive powers of nature. Mythological dragons represent the thunderstorms, the fire in the volcanoes, the ferocity of hurricanes and tornadoes, the destructive force of floods, the sudden terror of lightning, powerful and ominous weather phenomena that have never been tamed by man. This ferocity and fire is also the essence of draconian magic and manifests when the Kundalini serpent uncoils and rises to spread her wings and to become the dragon, the supreme ruler of the universe. Draconian magic is liberating and illuminating, but is also a part of the left hand path, which in its essence dark. Antinomian, and I think I have a definition of that word. Let's find that definition. How we say that word again? Antinomian. Thank you so much. Which means relating to the view that Christians are released by grace from the obligation of observing the moral law, or a view which reject laws or legalism and argues against moral, religious, or social norms. Okay, let's go back. Now, once again, draconian magic is liberating and illuminating, but it is also a part of the left hand path, which in its essence dark, antinomian, and destructive. Legendary dragons are fearful beasts lurking beyond the world known to men, representing chaos and darkness existing outside the structured universe. I said once again, legendary dragons are fearful beasts lurking beyond the world known to man, representing chaos and darkness existing outside of the structured universe. They dwell on the fringes of civilization, guarding the gateways to the unknown, to the unfathomed depths of cosmic space where worlds and dimensions are filled with terrors and abominations. This is the boundary. Is the boundary. This is the boundary between life and death itself. Draconian magic opens up to all these horrors that are hidden in the dark and unseen to the eyes of the ignorant. By stepping onto the path of the dragon, we enter this primal darkness. There we have to look with dragon's eyes and light up the path with dragon's fire. It is a dangerous, unpredictable quest that can only be pursued by those with a brave and passionate heart. Draconian gods, initiators of the left-hand path, were born from the essence of the primal womb. Let me say that again. Draconian gods, initiators of the left-hand path, were born from the essence of the primal womb and have the power to open the gateways of the soul for the gnosis or knowledge of the dragon. They reflect primordial ferocity of the chaos goddess and are by no means benevolent deities who might help you solve your everyday problems. They will, however, ignite the spark of divinity in your soul and guide you on the way to self-knowledge and power within. Their gift is vision, force, and inspiration, but do not try to call them if you find yourself too weak to deal with a situation. Draconian gods do not want you to worship them, depend on them, or pray to them. If you find yourself in a tight spot, they will show you the way to ecstasy of power, but will never grant it to you for free. You can work with them through pacts, PACTS, works of love and dedication, self-sacrifice, methods and techniques that will allow you to inflame yourself in their divine essence and raise their power within. But their main lesson to you is that you already possess the potential to be divine, that there is no other God apart from yourself, and it is your will that shapes the world and bends the reality. And if you do not dare to seek this power, those who are watching and those who are listening, and if you do not dare to seek this power, you should not ask them to do it for you because they will not answer your call. At best, they will ignore you. At worst, your weakness will assault them. Of course, there is also possibility that they will help you out, but not in the way you would want it. Or you will have to pay a price much higher than any effort you will have to put into resolving the situation yourself. The gods of the left-hand path do not want to be substitutes for monotheistic deities in your personal religious system. They encourage you to accept and affirm your own godhood as a unique and isolate being, not to reject it by associating your consciousness to patron deities and losing your individuality. They want you to be independent and self-reliant, to discover the power within, not without. In other words, they help those who can help themselves. So in chapter 2, The Womb of the Universe, family, this is another lesson about inner knowledge and inner gnosis and knowing who you are and knowing the power, the potential, the possibility that is already within you. Family, chapter 3, we will go and focus on the inner fire that is within you. On chapter 3, we're going to be talking about the inner fire which is within you. Until next time, peace.